I mean, does it surprise you? Now people are even quoting copiously from that report.
Okay, let's go into it.
Page 68. They said the way and manner they were sleeping with the loyal ladies. They were bunking the ladies left, right, center, loyal ladies. The ladies were so loyal to them. According to Professor Mike Oquaye's report, page 60, page 71. I understand, according to page 71, his testicles, they were holding the balls. The man was screaming, leave me, leave me, leave me, you won't leave, you won't leave. Page 71. Adwasafu nailed it on page 7 when he said Professor Michael Oquaye himself, the chairman of the committee, was the problem of the day. A Japanese book that was so boresome to the president, that was being used to run this country, got leaked. How much more this report? Was it not typed by someone? Was it people that went on the field to collate results? In any case, the bedrock of the new patriotic party is the Ashanti region. Is that not the case?
That is so.
Did the Ashanti region executive committee not constitute a committee to write what led to their defeat? Was that report not leaked out? Has anybody come out to deny that report? Has the national executive come out to say they did not sanction that report? So that report stands, and the details of that report are in the public domain. That the things that caused their defeat were in two parts: governance issues and internal party arrangement. Governance issues, here we are talking about how the management of the economy. You took over an economy that was doing an inflation of 15.4% in 2016. In 2024, we were doing 23%. So how could you have won an election? Someone that was doing 15.4, we gave him 44%. So how were you expecting to do better than that person when you were doing way higher than him? We gave John Mahama 44% in 2016 when the cedi to the dollar was 4.2, and in 2024 the cedi to the dollar was 1:15. So how were you expected to do better than him? We gave John Mahama 44% in 2016 when a gallon of diesel was 14 cedis, and in 2023 a gallon of diesel was 70-something cedis. So how were you expected to do better than him? Policy rate and so on and so forth, corruption indices. You were in this country. How many times me and a doctor didn't come here and spoke highly of the nonsense that was going on in the Galamsey field? People destroying the environment with impunity. What did we hear the NPP say? Are you a free year came to tell us that they were not going to stop Galamsey today nor tomorrow? Because if they did, the NDC was going to capitalize on that to win more votes in the mining areas. So they were not ready to stop Galamsey. It took the Catholic Diocese of Accra to embark on a demonstration, prayer demonstration, the first time I heard it. We were in this country, you and I, our parents, having struggled to mobilize resources, their pension monies, all the years of their sweat. They go ahead and then invest in government bonds and shares. Mind you, when you go and buy government bonds, government shares, government stocks, you are loaning your money to the state. Econs 101, ever since I learned economics, we were always told that the safest or the risk-free bonds in this world were the government bonds. It took the MPP led by Nana Akufo-Addo Bawumia and Ken Ofori-Atta to disprove economics. They gave our mothers and fathers haircuts to the extent that they caused the former Chief Justice, Madam Sophia Akufu, to go into an archive to bring a certain word called Pim Rain. That those that were speaking against the elderly people that were, as it were, picketed at the finance ministry. Can you imagine, Kwame? Can you imagine that your father and mother, your parents were picketing at the finance ministry, not because they wanted government to do them favor, but they were rather fighting for their own money that they had loaned to the state. So how were you expecting to win? Internal wise, you all know what happened to how they treated Mr. Alan Chomante. That was it. They don't, you see, they have tried very hard not to mention Mr. Alan Chamante's name in any of their reports. They didn't know it. But you see, that is what gladdens my heart. Because then the problem of the day is still there. You cannot run away from that fact that the way a manner few people in the party decided to treat one person with disdain, treated him as an outcast, someone who was a founding member of this political tradition, who had expended all his youthful years, his resources and energy in building this party. They treated him as an outcast, and they thought they were going to get away with it. So all these things were there. You all knew that they were going to lose. It was the magnitude of the defeat that nobody knew.
The gap.
The gap. And so if today you have been beaten to it, do you need any committee? So, professor who couldn't prophesy why they lost, you needed a committee to tell you.
He's a reverend father.
Reverend father, you couldn't see in the spiritual realm. Come on, we must not be lying to ourselves. We must not. And so, Kwame, there is no doubt. And that's why I said that in the same way the CPP fell along the way, for the UP to be relevant, and out of that emerged NDC, I'm telling you, there will be a new political party that will take over for some of these activities. And so they can take it themselves and laugh, but the fact still remains that they have known all these years. A party that was going into a major election, some of its regional chairmen were functional illiterates. They couldn't write. NPP, they couldn't write. They couldn't. Now, what even makes their situation so bizarre, worse, is Kwame, when you have a problem as a family, and you have that figure that all of you have that confidence in, that the moment he shows up, all matters will be resolved. That is the resolution of the matter. The NPP now lacks the person that can resolve their matters. If I were to ask you, who in the NPP now can be the pivot around which the party will rejuvenate or regalvanize, can you mention a single name? Because I don't expect at this stage for anybody to tell me that, oh, there is still President Kufuor. President Kufuor is more than 80 years. So old to be involving himself in this rigorous political test. So old. In any case, he also took sides along the way. So he has lost that momentum to be the gravitational point. So he's out. In the last days, the way and manner they caused him to be making certain statements. Man of destiny. So now that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia did not become the president, what has happened to your man of destiny? Was it something that was revealed to you by God, or you yourself conjured it? He was better than everyone among the candidates. When every Ghanaian knew that those that were contested to be president of this country, Mahmoud Bawumia was not qualified than any of them. So he has lost that touch. The next person that could have been the central point to rebuild the party would have been the immediate president, the past president, Nana Akufo-Addo. Do you believe for a moment that even Nana Akufo-Addo go to any constituency to even organize a meeting, the people will attend? Because almost all the reports that I have chanced point that he was the main figure that led to their defeat. And interestingly, every meeting that they are holding today, he is sitting there. So the person that is the problem is also chairing the meetings. He's an integral part of the meetings. Don't take you serious. You could have relied on Felon, former past chairman. Here you are talking about Freddie Blade and Afoko. Look at the way they treated Afoko, a fine man. Someone, look, the victory of the MPP in 2016 was orchestrated by Paul Afoko. People don't know. He has set up the machinery, the structures. That was when they started paying constituencies directly. They were sending monies. They caused all the constituencies to have an account. They were sending monies that was hitherto would have been sent to the region, while the regional executive will sit on it to the constituencies for them to work. So the constituencies were working. He had set up the structures. He was doing it. So when he left, they only took over from what he had done and then got them the victory. Afoko left in 2021 was the results. Did they not depreciate in terms of parliamentary seats and even votes? So there was no leadership.
Is MPP collapsing?
They are almost there. They are almost there.
They say that all political parties have had such internal disagreements after every election.
Yes.
Particularly if that political party loses the election.
Yes.
And so, is this any new or anything different? Is this a novel situation where you have a political party doing introspection and putting a report together to just guide them going forward? Is it something new?
That's why I started from the point of view that.
No, is it new? I mean,
it's not, but yes, it's unique. You know
why is it unique?
Because there is no one to lead a party now, to lead in the redemption mission. You understand? People talk of the NDC situation. Look, when the NDC lost in 2016, what did they do? They instituted or constituted a committee headed by who? Professor Botwe. Kwesi Botwe. Growing up, when you heard budget was going to be read, Professor Kwesi Botwe, in fact, was popular than even Jerry John Rawlings. Every market woman or man knew of Professor Kwesi Botwe because he was going to talk about plantains, chips, milk, and so on. And in John Mohammed's administration, he was not that instrumental. At least in the he was in the forefront. So he came across as someone that could bring all sides together, and he led the report. It engineered some levels of confidence that the party was ready to do something new. Even on that day, John Mahama lost by 44% as a sitting president. Here we are talking about as a candidate, a government in power that lost an election and got, now we don't know whether it's 38% or 41%. But granted, all is the same. Nothing could be. And you want to put up a committee to deal with issues, to get people to come on board. You go and bring someone who himself was the problem of the day. What has Adwa Safo not been saying about Professor Oquaye and the family? What has Adwa Safo not been saying of late? The problems in Dome Kwabena. So he himself, the leader of that committee that was to come up with what necessitated their defeat, is seen as a problem. Now come and listen to this. If you read the Ashanti Region report carefully, they also sought to whitewash the candidate, Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, so that the chances of him coming back in 2028 and leading the party will be very high. How can Pan Africa TV go to play a match and Kwame, you are the captain, you are defeated by 4-0? We come back and you say Ohima was the problem, but you not the captain. What Ohima was only doing was serving water. Extending water to the players on the field. Kwame says he on the field was doing everything possible, but it was rather Ohima.
Maybe he didn't bring the water on time.
What are you talking about? Was the water part of the football? You had to score the goal. And they draw in.
I'm sure you even got a penalty.
And you scored a penalty.
But there's one aspect or portion of the report that seeks to suggest that there were some back-end discussions with the Electoral Commission.
Yes. I mean,
to tilt the results in the favor of the MPP.
Man, are you surprised? We're in this country. Look at the sort of things that Jane Mensah-led Electoral Commission wanted to do in the days leading to the elections. If we had not spoken loudly, was she not going to take out the use of ink? She was using different machinations to even deny people. You are in this country where people were illegally transferred from Tamale, Central, Sanarigu to Pusiga. 38 people. Were you not in this country? When we demanded for the IT system of the Electoral Commission, the back ends here and there, did they not refuse? When we called for them to have an audit of the voter register, they still not refuse. Look at the voting on that voting day when we were balloting for the positions on the. Look at what my good friend Evans Nimako Alamon went to do at the Electoral Commission, picking two. One was in house, one was here. All this is we have witnessed it in this country.
So now I'll come back to you.